Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Steel Division video. Today I am playing as the 716th Infanterie, which is the Italian, or at least you get access to the Italian volunteers or whatever. And you also get a lot of Osttruppen and some grenadiers. We're playing on the Colombelles map. I am playing on the far left side, as you can see. This is a random custom game, which I am playing against Noob Ninja, which is playing as the Second Blindé, which is the French, and Nav Nav is playing as the Red Devils. No Name here is playing as the 1st Panzerna, and von Schweinhund is playing as the 15th Infantry. In my team, I have Big Lebowski, who is playing as the 116th Panther. Elite Hamster is playing as the 3rd Fallschirmjäger. And Sturmt oder nicht is playing as the 12th SS Panther. I believe that's actually what some of the German units are singing when they're getting commands and whatever. So yeah, let's just speed up this start here. So as you can see, I'm bringing 2 units of artillery. I actually thought they had longer range, but the 1600 meter range is gonna prove to be actually kind of annoying and a little too short on this game. Also bringing up 2 AT guns, MG34 and a lot of Panzer Grenadiers, or just Grenadiers I believe, alongside the Grenadier Führer. Unloading the Pak 37 here to deal with any incoming enemy vehicles, just to halt their advance. And I find this is a very solid tactic, and you can actually hide it in the just in the bush here, and still have a good shot onto the enemy coming down the road. So this allows me to just basically set up here. To be fair, I should have moved my Grenadiers up sooner to deal with the infantry, but I am moving up some Kubel MGs, and I also start my artillery firing on the outskirts of the town here, just to stall the advance, and as you can see it proves very effective. Spot enemy recon unit here, working its way on the far left, and one of the enemy team actually surrenders immediately, which was von Schweinhund. Not sure. Oh yeah, he was trying to get to the factory area. I'm not sure why he surrendered there, because it looks like he wasn't even engaged until now. But no matter. As you probably know about now, when your opponent surrenders, AI actually takes over. So you don't actually have another player getting your units and getting access to a lot more units and getting like more points available. Now AI just takes over and continues to fight. Over here, AT gun there, taking out one of the command carriers, I believe. And now my Pakas is going to start doing some work on the other carrier. Also the Kubel MGs is starting to pin down the units, along with the artillery, which started firing on the air here. You can see some of the impacts here. And the AT in the tree line here has actually managed to pull off some units here. But now his Sexton artillery units, he's going to be using them very heavily throughout this game. But as you can see, none of the infantry is actually making it to the house here because of my Kubel MGs just firing away at the enemy here. It does bring up a Cromwell 5 here to start engaging my Kubel. But now also bring up my own armor, which is this awesome Panzer B2F, which has both 47mm anti-tank gun and also I believe it's 75mm howitzer, which has 1000-meter range HE with 9 HE value, which is firing independently from the turret, so you have very high rate of suppression fire against enemy tanks, as well as the 7 AP here. Using my artillery in the background to stun this 6-pounder and the 75mm HE gun makes short work of the AT gun there. Time to engage some Strelki in the tree line. All of the Polish units here are hanging on to their life here in the open field. Actually manages to suppress some of my grenadiers here with the Cromwell and the artillery unit. But no matter, my panzers are on the site and it's time to do some work. Just constantly pinning down the units here. Enemy mosquito coming in there and burning all of the units. Starting to pull them back. I actually don't pull back everyone, so I believe I actually lose one of these Panzer Grenadiers, or sorry, just Grenadiers. Realize that and start falling back with my other Grenadier unit. So at the moment it's just like stalemate kind of here, but I am bringing up a lot more infantry, as you can see. This is another Grenadier Führer, which is gonna be on the right side of the town to up-vet my units on this side, and also a lot of Osttruppen here just to secure the town from any enemy infantry. Now my Ju-88 is coming into actually it was already on site to basically stun the artillery units. Believe it or not, this Ju-88 actually makes it out because it's faster than the Spitfire, which is very fortunate for me, because had I lost that plane I would be having some major issues later in the game. Spitfire just circling around overhead. As you can see, bringing in a lot more of these Sexton artillery units, which has 2,400 meter range, and I'm not sure why he brought them up so close, to be honest, because that does allow me to just move up my artillery and start counter-arting, but for the moment he's got the artillery advantage and he's using it very effectively. Over in the center, just a stalemate here. My teammate is being pinned down by this captured Pak 75 and causing him some issues here. In the factory area, Panzerwerfer starting to stun the MFG carriers. Also has a Panzer III here. Not sure why he didn't use that. Maybe is there some... yeah, there it is. It's a Pak gun or an AT gun in the bushes there. Also, by the way, let me know if you want to leave this information tab open, because I can do that, so when I click like a unit you can see the actual stats of the units. I'm gonna just go in and out on this game. Elite Hamster here with the Forschungsjägers, doing a nice job of actually capturing and holding this factory area alongside Big Lebowski. Doesn't quite manage to push on the far right, but he's going to be able to do that later on. Kubel MG run into 2 AT guns. I guess he had enough of my Kobol MGs actually harassing the enemy units. Panzer B2 managed to take out one of the enemy AA guns. Moving up my MG34 just to stall any new infantry push coming up across this field here. And now my teammate is asking in chat for some air support here, and I basically tell him that I'm not going to bring any of my bombers until I see some AA moving in on the field. So you're going to see him start to bring in some AA units here just to cover off my Ju-88 as it returns. My Panzer starting to gauge this Cromwell, and as you can see the main gun and the HE gun is actually firing independently. So you get a lot of suppression damage as well as the AP damage, which is the secondary shot. But I see this these AT guns moving in, so I decided to just reverse my unit into cover. I also brought up a Flak 88 to deal with any incoming enemy planes. And now, as we hit phase B, I'm going to bring in a lot of these 88 guns, which is gonna be an absolute blast for me, literally. Not so much for the enemy. Let's jump into the neutral perspective here and see what's going on. You can see my opponent on the far left is bringing in some AT infantry, also some AA units, and some just basically some other infantry units here, as well as some recon. Now you can see my Ju-88 here starting to attack the 75mm howitzer, which has been harassing my teammates' units here. But now we also got this 381mm naval batteries, which is going to start to pound on the enemy, or our friendly units here. Fortunately, not much here, but the 251-1 is basically smack in the middle here. Some rocket strikes coming in on the Willis Jeep, thanks to my his units. Sorry, how did he actually spot that? I'm curious now. Not sure how that happened. Maybe he just got lucky and tried to shoot on the artillery position. But anyway, good strike there. Now the glorious Luftwaffe is on site and starting to do some serious damage to the Allied forces on the far right. And now I have a total of 2 88 guns on site. Also bringing up some of this Italian infantry here. Also brought in my ME-109 to harass the enemy AT guns. And tell you guys, these B2 tanks are absolutely amazing at basically anything they do, at least in phase A, because their HE gun is just amazing to suppress and take out enemy units. Still, his Saxon artillery is proving to be some kind of a nuisance. But as you can see, I have locked down this town pretty well here. So now it's time for me to start planning my push. The Flak 88 there managed to finish off one of these, I believe it was an infantry unit, the open there. The reason I'm bringing in these Italian units is just because they have the Panzerfaust, which is, as we all know, amazing at taking out enemy vehicles and armor. And they have these Beretta M38 guns, which has 6 HE value. It only has a 100-meter range, but these are amazing at taking out enemy infantry at close range, as well as one of these MG42s, or actually MG34. That's a picture of MG42, but it's actually an MG34, which provides some long-distance infantry suppression. Unfortunately, one of these buildings gets destroyed by the artillery, which makes me move up my MG34 into these trees here, because I'm pretty sure there's some infantry in these trees here. Over on the far right, the factory is well and secure, bringing up the infamous HS-129, the glorious duck to kill off enemy tanks with its... isn't it? Why can't I select it? Oh, never mind. I believe it's a 37mm anti-tank gun. It's an awesome job there, taking the factory. And this basically just locks down the entire area here. My teammate in the middle here is still having some issues pushing up in the tree line here. If you go to the neutral perspective, you can see there's a lot of infantry with AT capabilities and also some tanks in the background here. And yeah, he's at least he's holding. But now, Mosquito Pathfinder coming to burn this forest, which makes his Panzer Grenadiers be pinned down. A lot of going on here, so I'm just gonna switch over to my view again so you can see what I'm seeing. As you can see, there's actually a lot of units here, which I cannot see. Even with my... oh, now actually... I thought I had more recon units up here, but... well, yeah, I have one here. I don't know why that didn't show up. Anyways, another one of the allied team members surrenders, so that leaves just my teammate or opponent left, I believe. I believe all the other allied forces started to surrender early in the game. The only unfortunate thing about this moving up these Flak 88s is that they are very vulnerable to HE fire, and the artillery sections is making sure that they stay well and behind. Achilles here gets a nice shot on my last of my panzers. Also takes out one of my SDKF Z7. Interesting name. For now, I'm starting to move up my Flak 88s on attack move, as you can see, just to start to engage any units coming in here. And this bold Cromwell here, I believe, is going to have a bad time with these 88s. And well, rip. Another 88 coming in to support the advance. My artillery taking a pounding from the sextons. I don't think I actually spot that, but they are gonna survive. Now, my teammate is starting to push up in the center, clearing the first tree line with the help of Befehlenpanzer and both Firefly. Kind of a bold move to move up in the small road here, because as you can see, he does not know what's actually hiding in this tree line. Could be a T-gun hiding here. But now his tanks are going to get on target on the enemy tanks here, so let's see how that goes. Actually still not in range, or visual range of Cromwell and the Tetrarch here. Just pushing up the line with these light vehicles here. One more of my tanks goes down to the Achilles. Now I'm just basically moving directly to this Achilles here to do some damage. And well, 88mm to light armored tank. Easy win. Also bring up a Marder 1 to provide long distance AT and HE. Just to relieve some of the pressure of my 88s firing at the infantry and whatever. Bold move of the Vickers here, opening up on my MG34. I actually managed to take it out. Currently we're leading with 58% territory control, giving us the +2 lead. Massive infantry skirmish going on here. Absolutely beautiful, and look at all these machine guns on this Panzer here. Absolutely horrifying to be on the receiving end. I've had enough of the enemy artillery, so I decided to put an end to them. Bringing Ju-88 takes out one of the I'm not sure what I took out actually, but at least I stunned one of the artillery units here. And also gonna bring in artillery of myself. Bring in IG-18 to support my infantry with some HE. And as you can see, everything just crossing this line here of enemy vehicles just gets instantly taken out by the Flak 88. And here is my Wurframmen, which is this ridiculous small chassis, big rocket thing which has 25 high explosive value, firing at the enemy artillery here. Managing to destroy one of them and making the other fall back, which is awesome. Relieving some pressure on my 88s to start moving up. And as you can see, all of them, or at least most of them, are on attack move up this field here. Also bringing up extra recon unit to support my tanks and whatnot moving up, so they don't get ambushed by enemy AT guns. My artillery is actually out of rounds at the moment. Bringing up another MG34 to support the push on the far left side here, just to secure these tree lines and get a view of what's going on this side. Because currently I don't want to push too far up, because as you can see, there's actually quite a lot of units here, and I had a sneaky suspicion about that. Mosquito Pathfinder coming in to drop some fire bombs on my teammate here. Only one of them makes it out, and his half-tracks just shrugs it off. Holding 61% map control. Still a +2 lead, not far from the +3 lead now. I actually managed to push out of this tree line here and secure the far right as well, which is excellent job on my teammates' part here. Now rocket strike coming in from the Panzerwerfer, making the enemy units fall back, and well, AT gun finishes the job. Beautiful triple shot there from my 88s on the Vickers HMG, along with the IG-18. And now I can actually see where the enemy sections are, courtesy of my Aufklärer. And I'm gonna start moving in my Marder 3 here to get in range and start to take out some of these units to relieve some pressure on my 88s here, because these are actually doing some significant HE damage here. Enemy planes just instantly gets retreated, courtesy of my flak 88s. And well, that temp is not gonna last long. Actually, looks like it's gonna make it out, which is impressive. Oh, I spot this Piet unit here, and I'm just ordering my half truck here to start suppressing it, but my IG-18 has a shot and well, finishes the job. Marder 3 just pushing in within range here of the enemy artillery. Ju-88 comes in to stun them. Also fast moving one of my 88s here to get within range of these artillery units. Man, I absolutely love this game, guys. It's very beautiful to watch, and yeah, absolutely amazing. Teammate in the center manages to secure the tree lines here, which is an amazing job of my teammate here, playing as the 12th SS Panzer. Has some Tigers and Panther Gs on site to deal with enemy armor. Now we have a lot of recon units in the area here. My Aufklärer is providing visual range of this entire area here, along with this Spätrupp. Now pushing the territory control into 65% and giving us the +3 lead. Flak 88 still slowly but surely moving up, providing some HE suppression on the enemy houses here, which contains some enemy infantry. Another massive firefight going on here on the center. Now my glorious Ostrupen is going to fast move into this town here and start to secure this. Also bringing in 2 more 88s, just, well, why not? And by the way, these are the 1-star vetted 88s, which makes them a little more accurate and can take slightly more suppression. Curious to see what my opponent actually has left in this village. As you can see, he's struggling really hard. He's pushed himself back into, or I pushed him into this corner of the map area. It really doesn't have much room to maneuver. back into my perspective. As you can see, I actually can't see many of these units. I can get like a glimpse of them moving through these houses here. Also bringing up some of the Panzer 35S, which is just the 47mm AT gun, providing some good fire on the light enemy units. My opponent bring in Crusader AA, no match for my units here. Now the infantry advance is coming.
Please, don't shoot.
Enemy planes just get instantly stunned and just makes it out there before my G6 shoots it down. And well, all of this poor Polish infantry here is gonna have a bad time with all these Ausdrucken with the MG 34s and whatnot. Enemy Firefly moving in. It's going to start to engage my Feldpanzer. My volunteer Italian units is moving in, but the Marder tree finished his kill on the Firefly behind the tree line here. J88 comes in to stun the Firefly to leave some pressure on my light armor. Also bringing in some grenadiers here, or Italian volunteers. At this point, with 72% map control, the +3 lead, we will have a victory in 1 minute. And yeah, we're still making a lot of ground, as you can see. Not that many enemy units left here. Not that can actually deal with the heavy armor of the 12SS. Just some Tetrarchs and of course the grenades of the scouts here can do some damage, but not really enough to take out these Panther Gs, at least not at range. So yeah, I gotta hand it to my teammates here, Glebowski, Elitehammer, and Obsturmt oder nicht. Well played, guys. I know basically all of these units here are AI, but still, well played. Did make our opponent surrender, and with that, the game comes to an end. And since I had it on neutral perspective, it says total defeat, but of course we won that. And racking up some serious kills here, 3,204 kills as opposed to 715 losses, which is pretty decent, all things considering. This mostly consists of the Phase A tanks and the Kubel MGs and some of the half tracks. Not really losing much else. So yeah, good game to my opponents, good game to my teammates, and to you guys, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye! Thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more.